What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and welcome back to episode 12 of the USS Enterprise build from Fanhome. Oh man, this has been cool. Now, what wasn't cool is the fact that in the last episode, I installed our escape pods upside down. And yeah, it was a whole adventure for the last hour or so, taking this apart and putting it back together. Now, what I did do, however, is I took some precautions. I took apart as many of these pieces as would allow. These two were permanently affixed together, so I'm worried about a little bit of light bleed through the escape pods here, but that's just going to be what we're going to have to live with. I could not get the parts separated. They were together. Here and here, I did take some electrical tape. I did go purchase some the Gorilla Tape, and it was just too thick. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. It was just too much. So I looked around. I didn't really find a good solution for light blocking. I decided to go with electrical tape. It matches the tape that they gave us with the model, and it worked. So I did test it. I tested the lights here. We'll be testing that at the end of this package. We'll be lighting up the whole thing after everything's said and done. But you know, it was just like trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. I tried to get the Gorilla Tape to work, but it just was not happening. And the electrical tape just goes down, settles across everything. I have pushed down all of the escape pods here and here as well, so they're nice and flush up in here, and they're completely covered, so there shouldn't be over time any light bleed. Hopefully, we'll see. Thankfully, I have all the instructions, and being that this model is, God, I perish the thought of having to take it apart. So, no, don't even entertain that thought, Jordan. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and finish up stage 19 here today. And that's going to be affixing these three hull panels and then doing a little bit of the work on the frame for the Cobra head on the battle section. So, let's go ahead and get started. So we started, the first part of step E here is to separate these two pieces. When we assembled the original, this was way back in stage 4, it was sitting like this, and like this, and what I had to do is I separated out, and I was actually concerned about the way these two pieces had fit together originally, so I was glad to do so. So we're separating out this piece. I went ahead, and here is our tape in action there. Nothing I could do about these two other panels, like I said. So the first part of step E is to go ahead and remove these. Now, what this part is going to be going on last. I'm going to go ahead and set these off to the side. I have also done all of my prep work. I went ahead and separated out all my windows already. We have a lot of screws that we're going to be affixing here, as you can see. I have my little markers for which screws, and then I have the couple of the screws from the separation here when we separated those parts. And so we're going to go ahead and start with hole panel 0310, also known as 04A. So yeah, a little interesting kind of the way they do it. So 04A is the top panel, 0310 is the bottom, or U310 is the bottom panel. We're going to be using U310 as the designator. I may switch back and forth depending on what I see on the screen, but yeah, so when I say that, it's I think it's like stage 3, panel 10, something like that. I'm not quite sure, so, or part 10. But yeah, so what we're going to do is start by flipping the saucer over, and we are going to be going, so it's wanting us to go to the left, so we're going to be building it right here. Be careful right now. Yep. So it is saying for us to take our wires here, and we're going to route this one up through this way, and then these ones up and back through which side? Over here? Oh, interesting. I can be able to get that through there. Okay, so I had to loosen this screw here. I had to kind of like figure out how all this is working, and so I had to loosen that screw so I can get this LED out, and I think I'm going to do that for both of these LEDs. This is before I was taping, so just being very careful to remove it. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is feed the LED through here one at a time. I was trying to get it through there, and I was worried about breaking the connection here, so, you know, obviously we can always get a new piece, but don't want to have that to happen. So we are going to take one LED and feed that one through, and then we're going to take the second LED, feed that one through. Okay. So now that those are there, I'm going to go ahead and attach them back into place and tighten our screw back up. That goes in there. I remember these LEDs went in just fine. I wasn't even thinking about tape at this point. So they went in nice and firm. Stayed in place. And stayed in place for more than a few months now, actually. So now let's grab our screwdriver. That was probably about 6 or 7 minutes of just pure manipulation trying to get this to work. Now I see why. I kind of separated the panel out a little bit here. No. Push that down. There we go. There we go. I'm a little worried about these, but, you know, we will find out. So now let's make sure our wires are coming up through here properly. And I'm going to try to get these to switch places here. If possible. I should have thought about that when I was routing it. So we're going to do one of these motions. Wow, this is complicated. I like it. Okay. So now, that's the wire that we need to leave off to the side. I need to pull these off away. They're getting in the way. There we are. Okay, I think I got it. Oh man, this has been super complicated. Super complicated. Almost to the point of like a little frustrating if I'm being real, but I understand like you gotta be very specific with your wire placement. What I had to wind up doing is just completely unwiring the thing, but I think we got it. I'll make sure to flip it back over after we're done here. Goodness me, Jordan. I learned things about myself during this process. And when I get frazzled, I speed up with things, and for whatever reason, this screw, I'll get frazzled like with the screw that's driving me insane. I'm gonna grab a different one here. I don't know why. For whatever reason, the DP screws are just not as magnetic as I want them to be. I'll set it in its hole. Alright. And that's in place finally. Okay. I've been studying the instructions all morning, if I'm being real, and I still had to stop and like look here. For whatever reason, I need new magnetic screws or screwdrivers. Now let's go ahead and try a new screwdriver here. screws are just not cooperating with the screwdriver. Okay. So now we're going to get a screw on here on the other side. There we go. And let's go ahead and flip that over. So, one thing I have learned from, I try not to look too far ahead for all this, but what I do know is that the ring that goes around the outside is going to do a good job of tightening down our pieces, but yeah, I think it's just the, I don't know if it's just the way yeah, I think it is the way I did this here. So I'm going to go ahead and back this one off, because this one's supposed to come up through the inside here. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had to pull this up through here properly. Yeah. There we go. Now, I'm just going to tighten this down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Well, what I thought was going to be a very quick little easy segment turned out not to be, but there we go. So, yeah, I'm not too happy with how this piece went on. So, we'll see how the next piece goes on and go from there. Okay. Let's go ahead and flip her over. Yeah, I've learned some things about myself. Like, when I get frazzled, it's not a pretty situation, actually. If I'm being real. It's not normally like that, but big hands and stupid brain, you know. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab 04L, and we're going to be coming over here to this side, so I'm going to slide these wires out of the way. And it did tell us to remove this one, and to feed it through right here. Yep. Just when the wires are in the way, it gets confusing as to where everything's at. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure to prop those away. There we go. Slide that through here, and then this one. How does this one go? Oh, I see. So it's gonna come around here. I get our windows there, and then, yep. And before we hook that up, we're going to go ahead and slide that through that slot there. Get this clip back into place. So you can snap it down. There's like a snap action that'll wind up happening sometimes. Okay, it did not happen there. So let's go ahead and get our screw put in and see if that helps with our issue here. I'll grab a BP screw here. There we are. Tighten that down. Did that help with the LED? No, it did not. So, in this case, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a piece of electrical tape, and because this is not part of the reflective surface that we're going to see, I'm going to go ahead and kind of wrap the, I've thought about this, how to stick later. I've thought about this. That's, well, maybe try putting it in the way it was before. There's a bit of a snap there, but it's not staying in place. And I'm gonna grab a piece of clear tape instead. And basically bend it up, push it back. There we go. Yeah, it's probably my only knock against this model is the LEDs, the way they're put in. But yeah, and this needs to be up at 90. And sometimes the instructions are not very clear with, you know, what's supposed to be at 90, what's not. Especially on the bend of the LEDs. So, there we go. That went up nice. So let's go ahead and get our screw holes lined up. Grab a DP screw. Yep. Goodness me. Oh yeah. What we learned is push down. And then it pulls itself down. There we go. Grab another DP. And then there we go. Okay. All right, let's see how that turned out. Oh, cool, man. This is super cool. Hold on, let me get this. There's so much stuff happening here. All right, so it took a little bit of minute. It took a minute for me to kind of get this to fit in. Like, that's going to be the thing that I'm seeing right now is that this is not an exact science, and we're going to need the outer ring to, like, the, you know, decks. I think it's 9, 10, and 11. We're going to need that 9, 10, and 11 ring to kind of balance out that, but that turned out really well, so there we go. So try not to move my stuff around. So let's go ahead and move on to our next step, which I believe is a little bit more complicated. So what we're going to do, flip this back over, and let's go ahead and get our wires kind of pulled out of the way. Just making sure that I'm not confusing myself. There we go. Very nice. So now, this piece, which is going to be U205, this one, we're going to go ahead and install some lights real quick, or install some windows real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and slot it into place, and then put some LEDs in, which I'm sure is going to go just absolutely swell. Isn't it? I'm sure it is. I'm just sure it is. So let's go ahead and get our windows ready here. I have an extra one just in case, because in between, let me tell you, I did some work on bouncing out windows, which is a thing that that's probably going to be happening quite a bit. So I think I'm going to have a cup of tea in between these episodes. I'm going to shoot a couple of these because I'm really excited about having this right now. So I'm going to get a cup of tea in between, calm the nerves, because this has been a little bit of a aggro fest, if I'm being real, just kind of like figuring out how this works. But, you know, once again, we're learning, and the only way to really learn is to try to do something and fail and learn how to not do something, you know? So, yeah, it's one extra clear one we have. So, Jordan, you know better. You can't grab them off the table. I need new tweezers. Maybe picking up some new stuff. All of these models that I've been building has taken this toll on my equipment, which is kind of funny, actually. I think it's pretty cool. I'm just kind of wondering what did it to my tweezers. The ends are bent up, and it could be any number of things. Could actually probably take a pair of pliers and bend them back, which is probably not a bad idea. But also my nippers need to be replaced as well. They've taken a beating with all the sprue work that I've done lately. So I'm going to get a really nice, expensive pair, I think. Oh my god. Yeah, these just don't hold very well. So, goodness me. It has been a struggle fest today. For all the preparation I did, it's been a struggle fest. Okay, so now we got our windows in. And now what we have to do is we're going to slot this one in. Is it right here? Yes, it is, I see. So I'm going to slide that out of the way. And what we're going to do Because this goes right here. Now, trying to be very careful to not bounce these windows out. Trying to be very careful not to bounce these windows out, and I bounce the windows out as I discover how I'm going to approach this. I had thought about trying to apply glue, but then no. Goodness. Maybe so much glue. And it would make a mess, and it would... That's weird. Okay, so I think I know how I'm going to approach this one here. This slot's in a spot right there, and I'm trying to avoid bouncing the windows out as I just did again. And so I'm going to pay very close attention to my instructions. I know. So slot the bulb that came loose at the beginning of step E. That's going to go right here. And what I'm going to do, make sure it's put into place properly. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it's a BM and a BM. Are both going to go into these holes here. So I'm going to grab a BM and a BM. Try to grab this without... Wonder if my main screwdriver is working again. And for whatever reason, it's lost all of its magnetism. Disappointing. See if this little trick works with it. Yeah, it does. Okay, so let me get this one put into place real quick. Pull up on the hole and secure that LED into place. There we go. And let's go ahead and... Oop, starting to get some bleed over here. Get another one of our BM screws. And we're going to attach that one right up here. This side. There we go. Pull that whole piece up. And then I'm going to take one of my EM screws, which is going to be the flat-headed ones. And we're going to put it right here. And then one more. Right here. Okay, so that takes care of that portion of that one, and that LED is actually nice and put in place. Very nice. A little worried about that. Then we're going to take our other LED that was left from the previous, and I think we take it, and the yellow and white is going to be here. We're going to go ahead and pull that out just a little bit because I know it's going to go somewhere else. And then we're going to do the same process right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in right here until it sticks. There we go. Now I'm going to start with the EM screws. Right here. Oof, Jordan, you know better than that. I'm all frazzled right now. Calming down, but definitely need a spot of tea, as our British friends would say. Wouldn't be an Aligning the Stars model build episode if I didn't lose something, drop something, bounce something out. And I have done all of those this episode. Glorious. Just glorious. Alright, so that one made a sound and made me a nervous sound. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and grab our BM screws here, and we're going to go ahead and finish up connecting up the end, and then we're going to come up here into the middle. I can see the whole panel being pulled up, which is pretty cool. Yeah, our original screwdriver has lost its magnetism, and our replacement screwdriver doesn't have any magnetism, and so this is going to be a fun rest of this day. There we go. It's going to go right here. Yeah, see it pulling up, which is pretty cool. And then one right here. Alright, so let's see how that one turned out. Did the LED stay in place? Oh yeah, nice and secure. Did I get all my screws? Yes, 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 yes. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. That's not pretty cool. Whatever. Let me back this off just a little bit. Probably a dumb idea, but we'll see. Well, that helped a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah, that turned out really good. Our tape here is a little jank-pied. So, we'll get that fixed here right now, actually. To do so, I'm just going to go ahead and basically use a pair of tweezers. And pull that off or tuck it in and do something. There we go. Yeah, that's turning out really cool. Alright, so that part's in. I think next we're going to be installing our phaser strip, possibly. Actually, no. We're going to test real fast. We have our testing lights. And what we're going to do first is we're going to bundle up all of our wires as well. Now is that time. And we're going to bundle that up at a natural point where we're not going to have too much bending happening. Cable management is one of my favorite things, but this has been really challenging, actually. And that's cool. The last couple stages, the last couple packages of the model have been really just kind of basic, putting together frame pieces and assembling a little this, a little that. This has been cool to have like a very complicated build, so awesome. Okay, so it's gonna have us test. I think it's gonna be this one right here. Yep, it's gonna have us test. It's only supposed to light up this one, which is not connected to anything, and then only these two lights. So let's see if we got that right. We're going to be plugging that into C. Right there. There's that. So 1 and 2. Very cool. So I got 1 and then 2 there. Let's go ahead and turn off the light real quick so you can see. Yeah, 2 there, and it's kind of caught some of the other stuff, and I'm sure it's meant to be all lit up, so yeah. Very cool. Alright, so yeah, now we've done the test, we've done the installation, we've done our cleanup. Now, I believe the next step is going to be to install our phaser strip. That is correct. Oh, I'm really stoked about this one. And then we secure it using the DP screws. All right. Oh, that's super cool. I don't know why it's super cool to me, but it just is. So now I'm going to kind of do this holding it, and let's see if I can just drop these screws in real fast. And so that way I can just kind of move the screwdriver. Oh, that's super cool. That's exciting. This, I'm surprised, has been a very long first stage, and I get why. Like, it's kind of like the culmination of, hey, you've been doing stuff for a while, and let's get some stuff put together, huh? So, come on, there we go. See if I can get that. No. There we are. All right. Let's get these screwed in. Yep, cinching in nice. Oh, yeah. There it goes. Oh, cool. Alright, let's take a look at that. Oh, hey guys, this is super cool. Like, now that, we're assembling pieces onto that, like, we got our phaser strip going. Oh, man. Oh, man, this is super cool. I'm just stoked. Giddy. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the last part of stage 18, or stage 19, excuse me. Alright, we're going to move that out of the way for today. We'll bring it back and just kind of give a little show and tell before we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be going ahead and... So this was part of our... the part of this stage, part of our packaging. And then I actually pulled the Cobra head out. And so what we're going to do... How are these positioned? Is it down? It is. Okay. So what we're going to do is... They connect up right there. Just fit right into place. That was super satisfying. Okay, so we're going to be using our BM screws and a lot of them. And we're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So... Is it 10? There must be 10. It says 10. So let's go ahead and start here. This is super cool. Like the very stage 22, which will be a couple episodes from now, we'll be assembling the PCM board in here, and we're going to be putting together the battery pack for the engineering section. And yeah, it's super cool. Like, this is... I'm really excited, and I'm like super excited about where we're going here for this package, and really for it to be here. I know I said it in the last episode, and it's been a week or so for you guys, but for me it's the next day, and I am just giddy. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then we got 4. 5. It's not very clear on the instructions where exactly they go. So 4 or 5, and then 6, 7 right here. I see. Oop. Okay. 6 and 7. Well, this? 8 and 9. I'm missing one. Oh, yeah, right in the middle. Okay. I was like, wait, where is it? And I'm sure it'd be fine without one screw, but we're going to be thorough and make sure that we're doing everything complete. So. All right, and as we hit our last screw for this week, we have definitely done a lot of screw work. We have put together some hole panels. This has been pretty cool. This has been a really cool stage, although a little frustrating there in the beginning. You guys didn't see a lot of the jank. I am trying to eliminate some of that for you, so I'm like, oh my god, look at this guy. So, there is that, and I know it's not much, but this is an incredibly solid, heavy piece. And really the reason for this is I believe that these are where where we're going to be putting the connection pieces for the saucer section, and they need some room to be able to move up and down. So, and then our battery pack goes right here, and then the bridge goes on top. So, pretty cool. So we have that built, and let's go ahead and bring our saucer back. And all my friends, I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of a close-up here. So there we are. Let her focus up, and there we go. So I am hoping that the outer ring is going to help us with some of the balance, and I'm sure it will. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so that's it for this week. I just want to say thank you. I know there's a million things y'all could have done today, and instead you spent a couple minutes watching me build a model, which is pretty cool. Just so, thank you. If you'd like to leave any questions, comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. Oh, and my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world, wherever you happen to be. And remember to always live long and prosper.